welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Twilight Zone. It was originally launched in April, right, in the US?
Yeah.
And now it came to Amazon Prime in Argentina, where we live. And well, we watched the entire first season, and this is going to be our review. And well, I think my husband agrees with me. There were some hit and miss episodes, more on the miss side than the hits. It seemed. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't watched the original Twilight Zone series. But I did, as a kid, listen to the radio show. It was like radio theater. When we went on long car rides, like to go to visit my grandma's or my aunt. But the stories that I remember, I really, I enjoyed every single one. Like, that was one of the highlights of going by car to my grandma's house, is that we'd get to listen to the Twilight Zone, right? And this was back before, I don't know, you had the internet where you could find everything really easy. Or at least it wasn't as common, you could say. And most of the episodes, I feel like they're too concocted. Like, ooh, we're gonna grab this little dose to try and make everyone happy, the more people happy possible. And I don't know, that shouldn't be the focus. It should be first in telling a good story. And like there were some episodes where I felt like there was a potential of a good story there, but then they just veered off into another area of let's be the more friendly to all the advertisers possible, and it just ended up failing for me. I don't know. You want to add something?
Yeah, more than trying to please the advertisers, I think they are trying to please everyone, or maybe the angry masses on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it seemed more for the angry Twitter horde.
Because, I mean, more for one episode in particular, I think. That is the episode called Not All Men.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you, but guys, that episode, oh gosh. What a horrible message to put out there. What a horrible, horrible message. But well, you go ahead.
No, yeah, they try to please too many people, and in that episode I think they don't realize that they look bad, they look like chefs with at least half of the audience. I mean, this is the thing. The original Twilight Zone had a deep message, a deep social criticism. Rod Serling was a war veteran, therefore the original Twilight Zone had a big anti-war message. Between many other things, it was against racism, but it would talk even about, I don't know, bad parenting.
Yeah.
Right, in one of the episodes, that is one of the more remembered episodes, even parodied in The Simpsons. That I think is an episode that they tried to reversion here too. The kid that runs for president, and then they give him everything he wants, and he ends up becoming. I mean, first he seems to be like the Messiah, and then he ends up being
a little demon child.
And it ends up in a very cheap way, right? They try to talk about many things, they try to address many social issues at the same time, and I don't criticize this new series for that, but I think they do it the wrong way, and that they do it in a very artificial way. Yeah. I mean, it's not something genuine like in the original Twilight Zone, and it's forced, right?
Yeah.
And they show it down your throat.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, in this episode, Not All Men, for example, is obviously referencing the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
I mean, an asteroid falls from the sky, reference to Lovecraft, right? H.P. Lovecraft, horror writer. And with the contact when the humans touches the rocks of the meteorites, I don't know how you say, they start to go crazy.
But
right?
not all humans, only the men, guys.
Exactly. But also not all men, like the title. And in short, they say that men goes crazy because, well, and violent because that's how they are, except the ones that chooses not to be like that, right?
But they still are like that, they just chose not to.
Exactly. But the thing is, all women are good.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, they don't say it like that, but it's like, well, then that means that all men are inherently violent and all women are good. And I mean, I have nothing against the Me Too movement. I support that, I support feminism, but we will agree that there is, how will you say, there is extremism.
And with extremism comes problems.
There is extremisms everywhere, that's what I'm trying to say. Just like in any other field, in the feminist movement, there are extreme ones too, right? And those are the ones that gives a bad name to it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And here, I don't know if an extreme feminist wrote this episode or what, but that's what happens. I mean, so all men are shit and women are all good, right? It's a bit unrealistic, artificial, dumb, and it's weird how the network could have, how the company, how CBS could have green lighted this, really, because, I mean, it's not that I feel offended. I'm beyond that, right? I mean, I know what I am, but I don't know, it's a bad message to send out there, and it's like giving credibility to the extremism. I mean,
yeah, and I'm sorry, but I want to add something. And also something to consider is, like, when I was a kid, I listened to the radio show of the Twilight Zone with my parents. So it would make total sense for kids to be watching the new Twilight Zone with their parents. So you're putting out this message that can only be taken as harmful, that can only be taken as inflammatory. I mean, I don't know what CBS was thinking. I mean, as my husband said, and I agree, I'm 100% for the Me Too movement, 100% for feminism, but the extremism part of it, when things go to an extreme, when they go overboard, is when they need to be cut off.
And more if you think that supposedly is all about equality, right?
Yeah.
It's all about equality. It's not about removing from the face of the earth the other gender.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it lacks of meaning when you get into that.
Yeah.
I mean, but well, anyway, that's one episode that is a more questionable, I think.
Yeah.
But the others are disappointing, except a couple of them. Like, for example, I don't know.
The Christmas one.
The Christmas one was okay.
The Christmas one was cool.
Also, if I can add something, Glenn Morgan is one of the executive producers, and he writes some of the scripts, some of the episodes. This is one of those. Glenn Morgan comes from the X-Files. He worked in the best seasons of the X-Files. Then he moved to the sister series of the X-Files, Millennium. He wrote and produced the second season of Millennium, that is the best in my opinion, with his partner of the moment, Glenn Wong. But well, he works here, he worked also in American Horror Stories and different movies and series. And I don't know, I was happy when I knew the guy was going to be involved, but I think it's still, I don't know, it disappointed me, this new version of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched the original. First I watched the 80s one, the remake of the series of the 80s that I showed you an episode the other day.
Yeah, Nightcrawlers. The Nightcrawlers. That was a good episode. And if you guys can find it on YouTube, recommend, 100% do it.
Yeah, I mean, in the 80s there was a remake, there was a movie with 3 stories, 3 reversions of classic stories of the Twilight Zone, and a series. Both, if I remember well, were produced by Steven Spielberg and other big names, and this episode that Sailor just mentioned was directed by William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, between many other good movies. Zemeckis, what was his name? William Zemeckis? No. The director of Back to the Future, the Back to the Future trilogy. Well, I don't remember his first name now, but he was involved also in the remake of the 80s of the Twilight Zone. And it's like this new Twilight Zone not only lacks of those big names, but also tries too hard to emulate something without getting, I think,
the essence of it.
The main things that made it the great series that it was. I mean, because like you said, even having, I mean, one of the main characteristics of the original Twilight Zone was the social commentary, of course, but the social commentary was more subtle, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't in your face. And the thing was social commentary inside a really good story, a really good sci-fi, horror, whatever, good story, right? And I don't see that here. And they try to reverse on different episodes of the classic Twilight Zone, and they do it in a very cheap way. I mean, not cheap for the special effects. You can see that they put a lot of money in the special effects and everything, but the stories are really weak.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they...
And also, maybe the weakest episode is the very last episode, which you would think the last episode should be like the grand finale for the season.
More because it's an homage, supposedly it's an homage to the original Twilight Zone, but they start by breaking the fourth wall, right? They show you that the narrator, that is Jordan Peele, that is one of the producers also, and he wrote some of the episodes of this new series. No, they are actors, right? They are going to introduce an episode and then they make a cut and they laugh and they talk and it's like, oh, see, we are real people.
And all I wanted to do was watch the episode that they were supposedly filming.
Well, but then they tell you a story, then the reality ends, like in the Twilight Zone, and it's like, oh, then in reality something is happening too. And then there is like an homage to the Twilight Zone that, I don't know, right?
Yeah, and
but well,
it takes the series from like this kind of cool, kind of serious tone to hokey, like badly hokey, like cheesy, just cringy.
Well, it gets better when they leave that behind and something starts happening and you wonder what and blah 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 blah. But I guess I don't know. It took me less than a minute to guess
what was going on.
what was going on, and then it happens. We won't spoil it, but I mean, if the previous 9 episodes, because by the way, it's a season of 10 episodes.
Yeah.
If the previous 9 would have been better, I will have been okay with this 10th episode homage, right? But I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like if they try to say, "See, we don't shit on the Twilight Zone. We care really. We love it. We like it." I don't know. I'm exaggerating, but it's like I don't know. Everything is too forced. Everything is too artificial. I mean, it's not bad. I've seen worse things. I watched worse things.
Yeah.
But I expected something better for a new Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It deserved something better.
And when you have series like Black Mirror and Electric Dreams,
Philip Dick Electric Dreams brought both from not Black Mirror but Electric Dreams and also The Man in the High Castle, that is another Philip Dick series, both from Amazon, and Black Mirror from Netflix. And that's something that I said, right? That when I first watched Black Mirror, that I told you have to watch this.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? This is the new Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
This is the Twilight Zone. And Electric Dreams also has that same effect. I mean, not only it grabs you and you get all interested and you are in the edge of your seat and all that, and also they tell you really good stories, right? I mean, those series have the spirit of the Twilight Zone, and those series made, I think, a better homage to the Twilight Zone that this new incarnation of the Twilight Zone from 2019. And it's a shame, because even Caroline Serling, the daughter of Rod Serling, the creator of the original Twilight Zone, is involved, is one of the executive producers. As I said, it has some other good people involved, but it's like they I don't know, they couldn't make it.
I'm like, they had the examples. The examples already exist, right? Black Mirror, Electric Dreams. How did this happen? How did they make Twilight Zone diet?
Yeah.
I mean, and kind of some of the episodes is like, I already figured out the episode. I already figured out what's going to happen. How many more minutes of this we have?
Or it was going good and the ending is disappointing.
It doesn't make sense.
Or it's cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame, really.
I mean, what I would say to do is, if you have Amazon Prime, which I recommend because there's also cool movies, series, not only Electric Dreams, but Man in the High Castle, which is really cool. Preacher's epic.
Well,
lots of cool stuff. Yeah. Even movies, Back to the Future. Lots of cool stuff.
Movies that they buy like Netflix does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also their own series too, basically. And what was I saying?
I don't know, but I was going to say that I made you watch the Back to the Future trilogy recently in Amazon, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if you finish watching...
Robert Zemeckis, that was his name, I remember. From Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis, sorry. Continue.
What I was saying is that if you finish watching Black Mirror, if you finish watching Electric Dreams, and you're like, man, I watched all the cool sci-fi. Let's see what other sci-fi-esque similar thing there is, then maybe give this series a chance. But kinda don't go in expecting brilliance. The Christmas episode was good.
It was okay.
I liked it.
I like it better the one of the astronauts.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
There is one that they launch a mission to Mars, like to colonize Mars.
Mars. We're gonna colonize Mars, guys.
And in the middle, when they are about to launch the rocket, how do you call it?
The rocket.
With the astronauts, there is an attack from North Korea.
Yeah,
right?
Sending a bomb over and it...
One, apparently many, but well. And they decide to launch the mission anyway. It's like, oh, the human race is going to be erased from the earth for the evil of Kim Jong-un, but we are going to send the last humans to populate Mars, sorry. The thing is, in the middle of the flight to Mars, one of the astronauts starts like going crazy,
seemingly crazy,
and having suspicions that like nothing that was happening was real. There you have a big, I think, in my opinion, wink to Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, more than a little wink, more like a shove.
No, but it's okay. Well, I mean, if you know his work. Yeah. I like it, that episode. I like it. Maybe, in my opinion, is the best episode of the series.
Yeah, that was a good episode, I mean.
But the others, yeah, I don't know.
I like it, that episode, and I liked the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
That was cool.
But I think, unlike what you say, I think they should watch it. Because at least, I don't know, I was a fan, I was always a fan of the Twilight Zone, the original and the remake from the 80s. That's why I watched this. That's why I was so happy and I couldn't wait to watch it. And I was really happy when I knew that Amazon will distribute it internationally, because this is from CBS All Access, the new streaming service of CBS to compete with Netflix, Amazon, etc. Well, but I think you should watch it if you love the original Twilight Zone to compare, right? And I think if you are a fan, you are going to watch it because, like me, you want to know how it is and you will expect to be amazing. And I don't know, I did it that way and I got very disappointed. And it's a shame. But it's not, I repeat, it's not terrible, it's not bad. There are worse things, but to me, it's not the Twilight Zone. It's not my Twilight Zone, you would say.
Yeah.
It would have been great if instead of trying to please every minority in the universe and everyone, they will have focus on telling good stories.
Yeah.
And trying to address, one social thing per episode or every other episode, because also the Twilight Zone wasn't all about let's change the world through stories. It was really good stories with some message, right, with some social issue, criticism, etc.
Yeah, like I imagine, because I didn't watch the original series, but I imagine it was a bit like the first episodes of the first Doctor. That some of the episodes were political, some of them were not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was good stories about everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Good stories with some, maybe every once in a while, political something.
The message wouldn't need the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But well, I don't know. I think it's artificial and forced.
Yeah.
In 2 words. But well, yeah.
For me, it seems to me like a bunch of guys in suits were in a board meeting and said, okay, we have this Twilight Zone, so what can we put in it to make people want to watch it? And they said, well, let's put one of everything.
What those angry feminists on Twitter like.
Yes.
What they would like. Say that all men that are shit.
Yes.
Right?
Have them watch it.
Yeah.
Because TV is dying. And well, guys, our camera cut and we had to switch to another camera. But well, we were gonna wrap up anyway. Well, in short, is not the greatest, but not the worst ever. So if you have a spare time, watch it, or up to you. But well, if you've seen this season of the Twilight Zone, tell us, what do you guys think? Tell us down in the comments below. And guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to leave a like. And if you are new here, guys, make sure to hit that beautiful red subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell so that way YouTube will be able to let you guys know whenever I post something new or whenever I start a new live stream. And guys, be sure to go on over and subscribe to my awesome husband's channel, which is called CosasParaTener. It's a Spanish-speaking channel that does gaming how-tos, reviews, unboxings.
Lots of cool stuff, guys.
Yep. I will have his links down in the description below. And well, guys, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.